I think there is a deep down need for change that a lot of people want to see. And I'm here running for office because I want to leave a better country for my children and the citizens' children of the United States. I'm 41 years old, father of a 9-year-old little boy. I've been in the welding, fabrication, and construction industry for 28 years. And I've currently been running a welding and fabrication business for a little over 4 years now of my own. Term limits. We need term limits for representatives and, quite frankly, even some judiciary. We need to limit the amount of time people can spend in there. And fiscal responsibility with taxpayers' money and our budgeting is two of the biggest key points we need to hit. I think what separates me the most is I am most in touch with what American citizens, middle-class working citizens, feel in this country right now. I think he probably is a little disconnected from that, and I feel it hits home closer to me than it would with him. I believe in constitutional conservatism, so I believe the states should have a lot of rights for things. And I'm currently on board with what South Carolina has. If we were looking at more of a federal bill, obviously you have states that allow abortion all the way up until birth. So I have made it publicly known that I would not support anything with abortion after 12 weeks. So when you look at it that way, you have to kind of find some kind of compromise between states that want none and states that want it all the way up until birth.
And along with rights and access, exceptions have also been a very hot button issue surrounding no exceptions versus some exceptions. Again, I know it's a state's issue, but if this were to go back to the federal level, would you support exceptions at all?
You have to have exceptions, and there need to be limitations in place with those as well. And that's not as difficult. You need to have the exceptions because those circumstances certainly do happen, right? But instead of focusing on the exceptions, we need to come up with a policy that works for all in the general public, in their eyes. At 18, you are an adult and you should have the right to vote. So as far as age requirements on the lower end, I believe 18 is correct, and we're where we need to be on that. On the upper end, it's really up to the voters. And if they feel that somebody's capable of performing their duties and tasks, whether they are 60, 70, 75 years old, that I believe should be left up to the voters. Now, cognitive testing, I think, is all but clear, especially with our current administration. I think we need to have some kind of lines of cognitive testing that can demonstrate that you are fully able to function in your capacity. The election results of 2020 are still in question, and rightly so. So I think we're going to find ourselves at a point for 2024 where there's going to be a lot of pushback on both sides, whether it was a truly legal and no fraud or anything of that nature has transpired during the election. And I think that's some of the people's problem right now is you have 80 million plus voters that certainly feel that the 2024 election was not carried out above board. And until we have the truth and the whole truth about what transpired during that election, I think you're going to see some of the lowest voter confidence in 2024 election that you possibly ever have seen. They want truth, they want responsibility, and they want accountability. And it's been quite a few years where the constituents in my community feel that they have not had any of them. And I think that's some of the biggest change that they would like to see on Capitol Hill is they want the truth, and they want to be able to see it in a transparent way where they're not left wondering, you know, because that's what they feel right now. They don't know what's true. And most of these people have jobs and they work hard every day, and they don't have 5, 6, 10 hours to spend trying to decipher everything that's thrown at them to find out what's true or not. Responsibility, they want their politicians to be fiscally responsible with their money, and sending billions of dollars overseas while people here are struggling at home with inflation is definitely not what my community wants to see. And then as far as accountability, there have been things that have transpired in the past that are clearly troublesome and criminal, and yet no accountability has taken place. And that's what my constituents and my community want to see from their politicians. It's absolutely absurd. We're somewhere in the area of 200 billion plus. You know, Trump wanted to build a border wall, and it was going to cost him $8 billion. And now we have immigration issues, right? Because they didn't have the money to spend for that. Yet we can spend billions and billions of dollars to send to foreign countries for these wars, when I stated earlier, we here at home struggle with inflation. And quite frankly, some of that money that's being spent out there is driving the inflation you feel every day. So this returns back to fiscal responsibility with your money, your taxpayer money, and your hard-earned work that has been put in, and they are spending frivolously. My message to the voters is, it is of the utmost importance for you to get out and vote. Whoever it may be for, you need to get out and you need to make your voice heard. And you need to look at the candidates a little bit and see who best aligns with you. And they're the ones you get behind and you send to office. The biggest thing that I can tell you that I can offer as a candidate is I've grown up working. I didn't go to college, none of that. I've grown up in the field working, and I put 110% into everything. You know, I've had jobs where I've had to drive 2 hours and 15 minutes each way and back to work, and I did that for 4.5 years. I've had jobs where 16 to 20-hour days were nothing. That's common. So if I look at this position and we turn this into a position of me working for the people, you can guarantee that I'm going to give you everything I got for it in the time allotted.